What is up, you occupied octillarian? Welcome back to HCC Games. You got Hayden here, and I've got a bit of a surprise. That's right, I've got a Battle Styles booster box. Technically, comes out on Friday, but thanks to the fine folks at Planet Comics, I got mine in today, which I'm pretty hyped for, because this set looks super amazing. Like, bunch of badass new Pokemon, exciting new trainers, cool new mechanics. It should shake up Standard like crazy. It's one of the sets I'm, like, most excited for and have been most excited for in a while. And you know, this is going to be a longer video because we're just exploring the set. It's going to be a classic 30-minute or whatever, so let's just hop into it. Cut through our chalky paper. And this is obviously not just the first Battle Style booster I have opened, but this is the first Battle Style boosters I have even seen. So this is going to be a journey for all of us. Did a quick pre-order price check here, and the stuff you'd expect to be crazy expensive is the secret full arts. There's some really cool Urshifus that get really awesome secret full arts. So let's just begin. Okay, and first thing first, we've got an Empoleon. Awesome. Awesome. So excited for this. Did not expect to get this early. This was kind of a big surprise. I got a shipping notification late last week. Didn't expect it to come in by Monday. All right. We start with Murkrow. So this is a new deck, Yamper, Ball Search. This is kind of a new U-turn board, Mad Party-esque deck where you're getting a bunch of balls out of your, oh, look at that art. You're getting a bunch of balls out of your yard and throwing them at your opponent for a bunch of damage with the Glarion Mr. Rhyme, which I imagine we'll get to soon. And right off the bat, we're going to get a Holo Rare. Colossal, evolves from Carkol. Cold Cannon 90x, slip a coin for each energy attached to this Pokemon. Its attack does 90 damage for each head. That's actually pretty decent. That's like the new Cramorant VMAX. It's not bad. And then Kingdra. When your active Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, you may move any amount of water energy from that Pokemon to this Pokemon. And Aqua Burst, 40 damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon, 150 HP. I think this card is going to see play. I don't think it will now because there's not a water deck to really drive it. But I think long term, Deep Sea King plus Aqua Burst with a better water shell using like Frostmoth could actually be something. Fighting Energy. Single strike style mustard. Look at him. So yeah, this is the theme with the mustards, is you can only play this card when it's the last in your hand, but you can always, search something for a Pokemon, put it on your bench, then search and then draw cards. Very cool. Durant, probably not going to get there. More Pico. Awesome. That's pack 1, folks. That's pack 1. On to pack 2. This is the Rapid Strike Urshifu, which I think most people are expecting to be the better Urshifu just kind of out of the box. Simply because just the level of control that the VMAX card has, and just the stats on the VMAX card are kind of insane. It just seems stronger than the single strike. You've got like 1 energy strafe moves that are absolutely insane. All right. We got 2 reverse holo foil rares back to back. This is an Inte. 130 HP fire, heat dash, 1 fire, 30 damage, attach a fire energy card from your hand to this Pokemon, not bad. Double fire generic, Fire Fang 90, active Pokemon is burned. That's a card. You're not going to see anything from any of those cards. They're not relevant. Doublade, Dottler, Fan of Waves. I think Fan of Waves will also be a very relevant card in control and energy denial decks, because you do not have to be playing single strike anything to play Fan of Waves. You just deny energy. It's just it's a better Giratina. Like, I mean, it depends on who you're playing against. Like, I guess it's kind of hard to get special energy out of the yard, so Giratina's probably still better, but it is another alternative to Giratina. Bellsprout, Glarion Mr. Rhyme, Mr. Mime. Glarion Mr. Rhyme is the heart of the ball deck. That's really cool art. I really like that art. Cherub, Leafage, and on to Drampa. Is this another? So far, 3 for 3 on the reverse holo foil rares. That's interesting. No V's or anything else like that, but getting something. Stonyorner, single strike, 130 HP, fighting colorless, lands pulse 30 plus, just some stadium stuff, and Giga Hammer. All right, it's an okay single strike attacker. This is a good card. Furnace Focus, draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand, especially when you combine that with the Octillery, which lets you search this up on demand. Like, this is powerful. This is an on-demand supporter Crobat. This is also a great card, Tower of Darkness. Once during each player's turn, that player may draw 2 cards. In order to use this effect, that player must discard a single strike card from their hand. That is some weird wording. I have not read the wording that way because I think I've only seen the proxies for it, which aren't worded this way. That's very weird, but this card is very, very powerful, obviously. Heatmore, and a code. No V's. That's okay. And so the big kind of new decks that are looking to come from this... Oh, this guy's relevant. So this is Remoraid. Remoraid evolves into the new Octillery. The new Octillery is kind of the heart and soul of the Rapid Strike decks, is what, I would predict there. And basically, the new Octillery has an ability that once per turn, you can search your deck for any Rapid Strike card, which is obviously insanely powerful. Insanely powerful. Primate, 120 HP fighting, single strike. Field Crush, kill a stadium. Double fighting, Steaming Mad Strike, 50 damage. Does 50 damage for each of your bench Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. This gets synergy with the new Single Strike Energy, or not the new Single Strike Energy, with Houndoom, because Houndoom lets you attach an extra energy but puts damage counters on your Pokemon. So this can easily be hitting for 250 damage in a good Single Strike deck, and you could see this, maybe if it's not a new Single Prize attacker deck, seeing this run in the Urshifu Single Strike VMAX decks to kind of clean up a little bit is kind of what I'm thinking there. All right, Energy, Weeping Bell. Dangerous Mucus is interesting. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may make your opponent's active Pokemon burned and poisoned. That could go into a control deck, for sure. Cheryl is interesting as well. Heal all damage from each of your evolution Pokemon. If you do, discard all energy from the Pokemon that were healed in this way. Hopefully, we'll get to a Corviknight VMAX or a Bronzong so we can get more into that deck, but there's some metal decks that are looking to take Cheryl, very far. And that's one of the new big styles of decks, is there's a new Corviknight VMAX that has a free retreat cost, a ton of health, great attack move, an amazing ability, and it is looking to be the heart and soul of, ooh, we got a V. Finally got a V, folks. We also got this Marowak, which is another reverse holo foil rare. I haven't seen this really quick. 110 HP fighting, battle armor. Oh, useless. And boom, perfect. All right, just who we were talking about. We were talking about the VMAX, but here's the V. Corviknight V, 210 HP metal for single metal energy clutch, 30 damage during your opponent's next turn. The defending Pokemon can't retreat. And then for double metal and a generic Sky Hurricane 190, and during your next turn, this Pokemon can't use Sky Hurricane. So right now, looking at this is just a worseization, just across the board. Sky Hurricane is a worse Brave Blade, and you don't really need clutch, especially if you're losing Intrepid Sword. But the VMAX is where it really shines. Having free retreat is very powerful, and the ability on it, interesting. And the ability on it lets you, makes you immune to all other Pokemon abilities. So that's very powerful as well. Rapid Strike, Scroll of Swirls. The Rapid Strike Pokemon is actually Matchless Maelstrom, fighting in double colorless, 30 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. It's all right. That's a bit of a finisher. It helps with the spread strategy that Rapid Strike is going for, but it's not crazy. And so what the metal deck is looking to do is you're looking to use the new Bronzong. Okay. We have something super fancy in here, folks. Something super duper fancy. That's for sure. Glamow. Another Yamper, a Mienfoo, a Bellsprout, a Salandit, another Glamow, and a full art secret rainbow Phoebe. Okay. During this turn, damage from your Pokemon's VMAX attacks isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. This is your force your way through a Zamazenta tech card. That's the main thing. That's the main thing it's there for. It counters Zamazenta. That's the main thing she does. But very cool. Very cool. I love the rainbow cards. This card is incredibly beautiful in real life. The way it shines and sparkles. Awesome. Now we're starting to pop off. Now we're getting our secrets. That's what we're talking about. Hopefully we'll get another secret in the booster box. But what the metal deck is looking to do is there's a new Bronzong that lets you move your metal energy around freely for literally no cost. So you're looking to move your metal energy between Zacians or between Corviknights as you retreat so you can attack every turn. And then you're also looking to heal your Corviknight up in between, retreats with Cheryl, because you remove all the energy off it, you heal it so you don't have to discard the energy and you can move it back on. Cinescorch, 130 HP fire, ability Overheater. When your opponent flips a coin for their bone Pokemon during Pokemon checkup, it doesn't recover from that special condition, even if the result is heads. That's actually pretty interesting. I don't think this will get there. I don't think, there will be a burn deck that's strong enough for this, but that's an interesting kind of ability. Maybe something will be built around this, some, second rate, there's the regular Phoebe, some second rate sort of control deck, more or less. We'll have to see. But outside of the metal deck, which of course will continue to use Zacian, Zacian is a great draw engine. There's no reason to drop Zacian. You still want to start Zacian early, and you're likely going to leverage a lot of the single like Amazing Rare Jirachis and the stuff we've seen nowadays all the time. There's a regular Drampa, which we have seen in Hollow Foil. Energy Recycle. It's kind of like a better Ordinary Rod if you're only using Ordinary Rod for the energy, which, you know, that's a possibility. So some of the other new decks is obviously the Single Strike deck. The Single Strike deck hinges off of Urshifu VMAX or Single Strike Urshifu VMAX, and it is just a wall-breaking, massive one-hit deck. What does Mawile do? Single Strike Mawile, 90 HP Metal. Metal, Powerful Vise 20, flip a coin of heads. Your opponent's active Pokemon is paralyzed. Triple Colorless, Piercing Strike 100, isn't affected by weakness or resistance. So this is really good for discarding to Tower of Darkness to draw 2 cards, is what I would say right there. Chimicho and Conkeldurr, the muscular Pokemon. There's so many muscular Pokemons. This is not the first muscular whatever. The defending Pokemon is an evolution Pokemon and can't attack during your opponent's next turn. You're not going to get anything out of that. But the Single Strike deck is really looking to just tank and build energy and do a bunch of damage. The new Single Strike energy lets you do 20 more damage whenever you hit with it attached, so that's really, really relevant. You're able to use Houndoom to kind of accelerate your energy while also putting out damage counters, which is actually kind of a plus for you, because then you can either use the Primeape or use Outrage afterwards, which is really relevant. Oh my god, Lickalilly, 140 HP, colorless, triple colorless, select. Your opponent chooses to discard the top 3 cards of their deck or to discard 3 cards from their hand. That's a pretty cool ability. Quadruple colorless pitch, 100. Your opponent switches their active Pokemon with one of their bench Pokemon. So right now there is already a Lickalilly Energy Denial deck. I could see this being thrown in as kind of a win condition near the end there to speed up the mill. But I don't think a full deck is going to build around that, would be my guess. About halfway through the first tower. Like I said, we're taking our time here. We're exploring Pokemon. Here's our Single Strike Mankey. What do you do? 60 HP fighting. Fighting, colorless, focus fist, 50. Flip a coin if Tails' attack does nothing, so you do nothing most of the time. Okay. There's your Lickitung. There's your Single Strike Houndour. We haven't seen the Houndoom yet, and he's a really big part of the deck, so it would be nice to see him. Jellicent. This is terrible. That's just not enough. 10 damage for each energy card in your discard pile? That's just, ugh. I have not seen this card. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to break for a second here because I have watched many battle style set reviews and I have gone through and reviewed cards myself, and I thought I did all of my homework for battle styles, but I know for a fact I would have remembered Swordward and Shieldbert. Swordward and Shieldbert. Choose a trainer card from your discard pile, then ask your opponent if you may put it into your hand. If yes, put that card into your hand. If no, draw 3 cards. What is happening here? Oh my god. Oh my god. This card is hilarious. This card is hilarious. I've spent a lot of time on this card. I understand it, but this card is insane. And I didn't know it was here. And it's terrible. Oh my god. That is the most PTCG card I have ever seen. Dear opponent, may I put this boss's orders in my hand and win the game? No? Okay, I'll draw 3 cards instead. Don't play that card, folks. Don't give your opponents choices that you don't have to. Play Eldegosses instead. Just play Eldegosses. There we go. Single Strike Scroll of Scorn is what it's called, apparently. And it's like the Rapid Strike one. The Single Strike Pokemon this card is attached to, you can use the attack on this card. And Furious Anger is just Outrage. For single fighting, this attack does 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So that's what you're looking to do there, is after your Urshifu VMAX kind of dumps all of their energy out, you attach Furious Anger, and, you know, they've taken some damage from the Houndooms or just in general, and hopefully you're able to crack back in the 200s because they've taken like a Zacian or something, because Single Strike Urshifu has like 340 HP. So that's kind of your finishing from there. Salazzle, this kind of synergizes with that Victreebel from earlier, 90 HP fire. For single fire Perplex, your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused, but most important is double colorless for derisive roasting, and it does 90 damage for each special condition affecting your opponent's active Pokemon. So you can see if you can get confusion, poison, and burn on there, like you're hitting for 270, and that makes this one of the stronger attackers in the game. I think decks will try to build around that. I don't necessarily, oh, here he is. And the Weeping Bell will be a big part of that, not the Victreebel. but I don't necessarily know if we have enough item cards and other special condition support in the format to make this deck fast enough. You know, if we had like Toxic Hypno Laser, that might be a different story, and maybe this card sees play in Expanded because of it, but we just don't right now. We have Yellhorn, but I don't think Yellhorn really kind of gets us there. Like, why do you even print this Pokemon? It's just not even worth it. Glarion Slowpoke into a Rapid Strike Mianshu. 90 HP fighting, colorless, pound 20, fighting, colorless, spinning whip 90. Your opponent's active Pokemon is not confused. Shuffle this Pokemon and all attached cards into your deck. No, thank you. Heatmore, another Cheryl, and here's the Rapid Strike Mustard. And the only difference here is you put the Rapid Strike Pokemon from your discard pile instead of your deck. So minor difference, but relevant nonetheless. All right. Moving right along. So far, we haven't really seen a bunch of the heaviest hitters from this set, the coolest parts of this set. So, you know, hoping for some cool stuff still coming ahead of us. I think we should have some. Oh, we have a V, or a V Max. And this Reverse Holofoil Spearow. And Tyranitar V, 230 HP Dark. This is a single strike. For a Dark and a double colorless, you get Crack-a-Lynch. 60 damage, discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. And then for double Dark and double colorless, you get Single Strike Crush, 240, and discard the top 4 cards of your deck. Single Strike Crush is good. Zation is better. I mean, that's the thing here. Like, so there are some advantages Tyranitar has over Zation. It has a little bit more health. It has a much better weakness coverage. Fire is a much worse weakness than Grass is, but Single Strike Crush is considerably worse than Brave Blade, and you don't have Intrepid Sword. So I just don't see, and your Retreat is brutal. I just don't see where this card comes into play. You really need like a Turbo Dark deck that can really load up Dark energy on there. And so maybe there's something with Turbo Patch and like, actually there might be a Pokemon that adds, no, there's a Pokemon from the next Matchless Fighter set that lets you add energy from, attach Dark energy from your discard pile. So we may need to wait until we see Matchless Fighters for Tyranitar V to kind of pop off. Let me put the cool cards in frame. Okay. Energy Recycler, Goldbat. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may draw 2 cards. I don't know. I don't actually know here. We might be able to see this. Like, I don't know where you put it, though, is the problem. Since it's a stage 1, this would be way too powerful if this was a basic Pokemon, so you really need to run quite a few of these. But maybe we see these in Eternatus to kind of help out with draws, because right now you only have your Crobats, so maybe the Golbats can help accomplish something that things like Yveltal or Hoopa are doing. I mean, what's the attack here? Air Slash, it's terrible. So, I don't know. It kind of depends if the additional draw consistency is better than having the consistency of beating, you know, VMAX denial decks and wall decks. So here's the Bronzor that evolves into the Bronzong, which we haven't gotten yet. So can't really go through that too much. Reverse Holofoil Golbat. Ah, there we go. Perfect. Perfect. This is Single Strike Houndoom, 130 HP Dark. And Single Strike Roar is the most important thing here, where once during your turn, you may search your deck for a Single Strike energy card and attach it to one of your Single Strike Pokemon. Shuffle your deck. If you attached energy to a Pokemon this way, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. So that damage counter is what powers up Primate and Furious Anger. And this is your ramp, this is your acceleration, this is how you reload your Urshifu VMAX after you discard all of the energy off of it. Very powerful card. Sword Word and Shield Bird. Definitely one of the best cards in the set, one of the strongest single strike cards to be printed so far. Hyped to pull that. But so far, kind of a slow opening, I would say. Nothing too crazy. Nothing, you know, we're just learning the set, hanging out, having some fun, pulling some terrible clay dolls. Power Split, attach psychic energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you like until your Pokemon and your opponent's Pokemon have the same total amount of energy attached. Ugh. Can't even really cheat there. That's annoying. Another Cronus Focus, Tower of Darkness. Almost through the first tower here. So about 17 packs in right now. And we've seen 3 real hits. So I would say this is a little under. Glarion Mr. Mime, Spoink, Small Cacnea, Corphish, Dottler, and Electivire. Oh, that's why you print the Electivires. Can you at least evolve? I forget Electivire's evolves in 2021. 140 HP Lightning, triple colorless, tumbling attack, 60 plus. Flip a coin, that's terrible. Triple Lightning, colorless, Lightning Slam, 180. That's alright, but this card will never see play. The Seadra, the Girder. Urn of Vitality is relevant. Shuffle up to 2 single strike energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. This is how you get to reuse your single strike energy, and you use your Houndoom to look up all of that energy when you need it and attach it. So that's also part of the heart and soul of the single strike energy deck. And so yeah, the single strike energy, we kind of briefly talked about that. We haven't been seeing a lot of the rapid strike energy stuff. This, I think, is a VMAX, I believe. We'll find out. Hopefully it is. But rapid strike is very, very different. Rapid strike is much more of a... You know, it's just because we were talking about single strike so much that single strike Urshifu VMAX decided he would show up so I could show the card off and, you know, let you guys, gals, and NBs all know what I'm talking about. So, this is the Single Strike Urshifu VMAX, evolves from Single Strike Urshifu V, so no Rapid Strike evolution or cross-evolving here. 330 HP, fighting. For triple colorless, you can do Beatdown, which is 100. That's not what we're here for, that's pretty terrible. For triple fighting in a colorless, though, we can do Gmax 1 Below, which does 270 damage, which is pretty insane, and discards all energy from this Pokemon, and isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So this wall breaks, this gets through Metal Goggles, this gets through Luke Metal's GX attack, this gets through Decidueye, this gets through everything. You load it up with some single strike energy, which gives it an extra, 20 damage here, 20 damage there. You can give it something like a Vitality Band to give it an extra 10 damage. And, you can see it's not very hard to hit 300 damage, 320 damage, 340 damage, get to the point where you're actually one-shotting VMAXs. And single strike Urshifu VMAX lives up to their name. This homeboy is looking to do a single strike and knock a Pokemon out, and they absolutely can. And then so once all the energy is down, that's when you attach Furious Anger, which kind of makes Vitality Band not as good, or you start ramping to get to a beatdown quickly, maybe switch to something else. You can use multiple Houndooms in the same turn, though, so if you've got 2 Houndooms on the bench, you can actually get beatdown going the turn after you discard all this energy, especially with a Vitality Urn. And then you just get back in it. You just get back into it. And, that's what you're doing. Your prize map is who needs a boss's orders. I'm going to one-shot everything you have. Then Rapid Strike is the exact opposite. Rapid Strike is a lot of bench interaction. Both strafe abilities, where the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX they have an attack that will let you, swap them with a Pokemon on your bench. So it's a very agile Pokemon, a Pokemon that's very hard to pin down and actually kill. Awesome. Reverse Holofoil fan of waves. But there's also a bunch of bench damage too. So Urshifu VMAX's main attack does 120 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon, any 2. And so that's what you're looking to do. You're looking to boss out and snipe at a Dene or a Crobat while also picking up something like an Amazing Rare Jirachi or, any other small support Pokemon, or just getting damage on their Vs or VMAXs. Single Strike Tepig. There is a Single Strike inboard that's probably not going to make a big splash. We'll see if we see them, but so far we have not, obviously. Remoraid, show me the Octillery. I really want the Octillery. I really don't want this Victor Bell. But anyway. Ooh, Level Ball. This is going to be a really relevant item card. Search your deck for a Pokemon with 90 HP or less, reveal it, and put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Really good in decks like Mad Party. Really good to find things like Amazing Rare Jirachis, all sorts of other setup cards. You unfortunately can't find like a Rangaroos and stuff like that. But in single prize decks, this is going to be a really good card. Finds your Rowlets. Doesn't find your Decidueyes, but it finds your Dartrix too, I believe. So it's pretty decent. And then, so Rapid Strike, what you're looking to do there is you also definitely want Telescopic Sight, because it lets you do 30 more damage to those bench GX and V Pokemon, which could mean the difference between one-shotting and not one-shotting a bench Pokemon. But you're looking to take multiple prizes on the same turn and just kind of knock out multiple bench Pokemon and maybe, pitch and chip away at some of their larger Pokemon, while also being kind of mobile yourself and getting Urshifu VMAX back to the bench pretty quickly. And so Urshifu VMAX has the same kind of thing where you have to discard all the energy after you use their big main attack, but, here we go. Glarion Mr. Rhyme. But real quick, the difference between Urshifu VMAX is they have a single colorless energy damage move that does 150 damage. Glarion Mr. Rhyme, 110 HP water, double colorless, ball juggling 10+. Discard any number of item cards that have the word ball in their name from your hand. This attack does 40 more damage for each card you discarded in this way. So, unclear if that will be an actual deck, but it's an option. What does this do? Phalanx, 110 HP fighting, Rapid Strike Squad. For fighting colorless, 20x. This attack does 20 damage for each of your Rapid Strike Pokemon in play. That's not going to get there. The most that does is 120 damage, and just no. The ball stuff may actually get there. That remains to be seen. It's going to be a single prize deck. We have some good single prize decks in the format with Mad Party to begin with. Leon's Charizard deck isn't terrible. Decidueye is pretty solid to begin with. We have Baby Blounds as well. Baby Blounds is definitely good. There's a V or a V Max in this pack. Sweet. I think that's a V. Fomantis, Glarion Slowpoke, Mankey, Horsey, Honedge, Bouffalant, Flapple V. It was a V, but it wasn't just a V. It was a full art V. Very cool. Flapple V, 190 HP, Grass, Sour Spit, 20. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon's attacks cost double colorless more, which is pretty sweet. Grass, double colorless, wing attack, 120. All of that said, like, Sour Spit's pretty cool. Doesn't do enough damage, so it's just way too slow. Wing attack doesn't really help here. It's not like we can Sour Spit a little bit, do some setup, and then Wang for like 240 or something. And spoiler alert, Flapple VMAX doesn't really get there either, so we're not going to be seeing a lot of Flapple in this meta. There we go. Finally, we got an actual single strike energy here. Hold on, I put those in the wrong. All right, single strike energy is a special energy that can only be attached to a single strike Pokemon. If it's attached to anything else, discard it. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides fighting and dark energy, but provides only one energy at a time. And the attacks of the Pokemon this card is attached to do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Very, very powerful energy. Very powerful. Color fixing, multicolor, while also increasing your damage. What more do you want in an energy? You know, the only thing it could do better is provide both of those energies at the same time, which would be absolutely 100% busted. We have another V in here. Excellent. Remoraid, Zubat, Lickitung, Yamper, Scatterbug, Fomantis. Oh, nice. This was definitely a V I wanted, because this is a very good one. Kricketune V, 180 HP, Grass. The major thing here is Exciting Stage. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hand. If this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may draw cards until you have 4 cards in your hand instead. Can't use more than one of these per turn. And then it has X Scissor for Grass, double colorless, 80 plus, flip a coins if head, it does 80 more damage. You're obviously here for Exciting Stage. Exciting Stage is very exciting. That's a super strong ability. That's great to reset stamp proof yourself with the amount of discard we currently have in the format and the ways you can shape your hand. You know, it's not obscene or not unheard of to, you know, start a turn with 4 cards in hand and still be able to draw 1 or 2 cards off this ability. So this is going to be a very powerful card. You're going to see this pop up a lot. This is going to be the thing that phases out Silvally GX and helps reset stamp proof a lot of people, while also just kind of being a powerful engine to drive a bunch of various decks. Card's sweet. Card is super sweet. One of the best cards in the set, I would say. Definitely the best non-attacker. All right. And then kind of got distracted on the Rapid Strike deck. But going back to the Rapid Strike deck, you don't really need the attachment nearly as much because of the strafe ability that Urshifu VMAX has. So after you do 120 damage, you're able to do 150 damage as long as you can swap Urshifu VMAX off the bench that turn, which is very powerful. Took a break there because I saw Bronzong was coming. Bronzong, 110 HP Metal, and they have Metal Transfer. As often as you like during your turn, you may move a Metal Energy from one of your Pokemon to another of your Pokemon. This is obviously very powerful and lets you, especially in a Metal deck where you have things like Metal Saucer, you can Turbo Patch, you have things like Zacian. Metal already has a lot of ways to attach Metal to specific Pokemon that may not be your active Pokemon. So having the ability to move all of this around is super powerful to begin with. Then you throw in that Cheryl, where you can move that energy off of your Corviknight VMAX and onto, honestly, well, not the Bronzong, onto a Zacian and then back on, and you can really see how Bronzong is going to be a heavy hitter in the format. Really is. Going to do great things. Really excited for that card, too. Alright. Almost halfway through the second tower. Making fine time. Glarion Mr. Mime, Mienfoo, Silicoba, Cherubi, Pachirisu, Reverse Hollow Foil, Urn of Vitality, and a Drampa. Trying to think of some of the other decks. There's Tool Jammer. We have Tool Scrapper. As long as the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot, Pokemon tools attached to your opponent's active Pokemon have no effect except for Tool Jammer. Again, we have Tool Scrapper. I don't know why you would want to play that. Trying to think of some of the other decks that may come out of this. There's the possibility that a Lightning deck comes out of this, something that may eventually replace Pikarom when it rotates around the Tapu Koko V and V Max. You have some free retreats there. You have some decent attacks there. It's not a terrible Pokemon, but it's nothing to think that it'll pop off in the same way that the Rapid Strike and the Single Strike Pokemon will. And those are the main things. Those are going to be the main archetypes you're going to want to invest in. You're going to want to look out for is Single Strike and Rapid Strike. Right now, I think a lot of people are thinking Rapid Strike will be better simply because Urshifu VMAX, or Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, seems like a slightly stronger card than Single Strike. Mostly because of that 1 energy, 150 damage strafe, which is kind of insane. Heal all damage from 2 of your bench Pokemon. That's actually interesting, but this is a stage 2. This will never see play. That's insane. And here's the stage 2 of that Single Strike Imbor, the Pig Knight. You can see nothing really happening there. But at the same time, while Urshifu, Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX is better than Single Strike, the bench barrier Mew still exists. And bench picking, bench sniping is the strategy of this deck, of the Rapid Strike deck, 100%. So that could definitely throw a big wrench in how good the Rapid Strike deck is. Boltund, 130 HP, Lightning. Okay, Defiant Spark's pretty good. Double Lightning, generic, Defiant Spark, 130 damage. If this Pokemon has any damage counters on it, this attack can be used for Lightning. That's alright, but really this card isn't going to see play, and the basic, the Boltund, may see play in the Ball Fetch deck. But that's about it. Alright. We've seen a lot of good hits here. We really have. The hits have started to pick up. We've seen a lot of great Pokemon that sort of demonstrate all of the cool stuff in this set. Really the only... Oh, another V or a V Max. Single Striker Shifu V. Excellent. That's really cool. We got the V and the V Max. We're just going to go ahead and build our deck, folks. We're going to build it. Single Striker Shifu V. Got 220 HP. Fighting Pokemon. For single fighting, you have Laser Focus. Search your deck for up to 2 fighting energy cards and attach them to this Pokemon. Then shuffle your deck. Then for double fighting in a colorless, you have Impact Blow, which does 180 and can't be used during your next turn. This card is totally fine. This card, obviously, the VMAX card is better, but Laser Focus is solid. Laser Focus sets you up for the VMAX, and this isn't like Eternatus, where it's like a complete disaster if you can't evolve this. This Pokemon can continue to set up, you know, you can grab some extra fighting energy to help you get to that 4 slot, so maybe you can start using your attaches on another Urshifu V if you need to, or you can just use Impact Blow. Impact Blow is not the best attack, but it is not a terrible attack. So, you know, may as well. Solid card. Another Urn of Vitality, getting a lot of those. Would love to see another secret. That would be really cool. I've already gotten one, but another one would be amazing. Especially like a Secret Cheryl. Shinx, Sizzlipede, Spearow, Onix, Bellsprout, Reverse Holofoil, Phoebe, into Tapu Bulu. This is another potential new deck that I don't think we'll get there. This Grass deck. Tapu Bulu has 130 HP as a Grass Pokemon. For a single Grass, you get pushed down for 20 damage. Your opponent switches their active Pokemon with one of their benched. Pretty good. For double Grass and a colorless, you get Nature's Judgment, 80+. You may discard all energy from this Pokemon. If you do, this attack does 80 more damage. And there is a new Grass Pokemon that allows you to... oh, there we go. That allows you to attach... we've already seen this. And so the reason that Matchless Maelstrom isn't going to do this is 30 damage generally just isn't enough to even hit a breakpoint. So a good example there is a Dedenne. So if you do 120 on a Dedenne, well, Dedenne has 160 HP. The 30 doesn't get there. The 30 doesn't get there for Eldegoss, doesn't get there for Crobat, it doesn't get there for most of the main supporters when you add it to the 120. So you start needing a telescopic scope, and then maybe it can get there, but I don't think that will see a bunch of play. But going back to the Tapu Bulu, the Tapu Bulu is relevant because there is also a new Grass Evolution Pokemon that allows you to attach any number of Grass energy from hand to your active Pokemon. So you can easily ramp up to that last Nature's Judgment ability. This is cool. Stance change. Once during your turn, you may switch this Pokemon with an Aegislash card in your hand. Any attached cards, damage counters, and special conditions, turns of play, and all that other effects remain the same on the new Pokemon. Lets you kind of swap your Aegislashes out. This is one that's good against VMAXs. You may have another one that's good against wall Pokemon. Who knows? Not gonna make a splash in the meta, but I just think it's a cool ability to begin with. Got about 4 packs left here, folks. No, it's been a longer video, but these first videos of a set are always going to be long while we explore the set, read some cards, have some fun, talk about all of the new stuff in the set. Like I said, this set is super exciting, super cool. Hopefully this video has helped kind of prove this. There's the Cherrim. So the Cherrim, this is what goes with the Tapu Bulu. 80 HP, Grass, Spring Bloom. So often as you like during your turn, you may attach a Grass energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box. Rule boxes are on Prism Stars, Vs, GXs, EXs, anything that lets you take multiple cards anything that can't be used more than once in a turn, anything that, you know, you can only have one in your deck is going to have a rule box by definition. So really limits the power of this card. There's not a bunch of great grass Pokemon that have a rule box to begin with, so it's not like the end of the world, to be honest with you. But it really limits the power of this card going forward, and that's why the Tapu Bulu is probably like the best partner for the card. But, you know, is the Tapu Bulu even going to get there? Glarion Slowpoke, I've never seen this card. 130 HP Dark, Splattering Poison. Both active Pokemon are now Poison Sweet. Dark Double Colorless Unhinged Hammer 100. If this Pokemon is affected by a special condition, it does 120 more. That's interesting, but not going to get there. Not strong enough to make a single prize deck in this current day and age. You need to be able to do a lot of damage to really keep up with Vs and Vmaxes. I mean, yeah, that takes out a Zacian, which is really relevant. Taking out Zacian, Zacian's one of the most prevalent Pokemon in the format. We got another hit. I think this is a Vmax. Zacian's one of the most prevalent Pokemon in the format, but, you know, that's not good enough. You can't make a single prize deck out of things that kill Zacians. Reverse Holofoil Cheryl into... We got the Flapple VMAX. We are just hitting entire evolution lines today, folks. Not bad, not bad. So Flapple VMAX, 320 HP Grass. Grass, double colorless, Gmax rolling, does 250 minus, and it does 10 less damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So, yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. If Gmax rolling was like 2 energy, yeah, for sure this card would see play. If it was 1 energy, this card would be busted. But for 3 energy, the attack takes too long. Flapple V is too bad on its own. Your opponent's easily going to be able to interact with Flapple V, get some amount of damage on it to lower Flapple V max. 250 damage doesn't even kill a lot of VMAX Pokemon. Then you hit for 250, you get hit back for 270, and then what? You can't do damage with Flapple, you have to throw it away. 250 doesn't even kill all GX Pokemon. This card just doesn't get there. It just does not get there, which is kind of a shame, because because Flapple is an interesting concept for a Pokemon. A worm in an apple. Because that was the question. The question wasn't, what would it be like to have a worm Pokemon? We have those Pokemon. The question was, you know that worm that's sometimes in apples and TV shows? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. What if that was a Pokemon? Like that specific worm? And that's a weird question to ask. Another Houndoom. That's awesome. That's awesome. Again, you can use multiple single strike roars in a turn, so that's super relevant. Luxray, this is apparently a Rapid Strike Pokemon, a Stage 2, 150 HP. Lightning, Electro Step. This attack does 40 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Switches Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. It's not too bad. Lightning, Colorless, Scar Strikes 100 plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon already has any damage counters on it, this attack does 100 more damage. That's actually not bad at all. Maybe this will see some sort of play in a single prize deck. This is pretty powerful for some single prize stuff. Some single prize bench interaction. And I think that'll depend on how the Rapid Strike package develops going forward. I don't know how much of the Rapid Strike package is really going to be super useful for that deck right now. We'll have to see. But, yeah. And this is it, folks. Last pack. Take our time through this one. Clammeow. Oh, one thing I was going to say is the thing that's really bad for that Shinx, though, is the Rapid Strike colors are water fighting, not lightning fighting. So that's really going to mess with things. You can't use the Rapid Strike energy very effectively there at all. Ponyard. Cacnea. Oh, okay. Reverse Holofoil Age Slash. At least it's a cool card. Glarion Mr. Rime. That's our third Glarion Mr. Rime. Looks like we're building the ball decks, folks. Bouffalant. Rapid Strike. Whoops. Rapid Strike Scroll of Swirls. And Pignite. There we go, folks. That's it. That is our first of mini Battle Styles booster boxes. I have a lot of these booster boxes coming in, so we'll be doing a ton of these. We're doing at least as many of these videos as we did for Darkness Ablaze, if not more. Very excited for this set. The set is super cool. This was a great first opening. Want some more Rapid Strike stuff. I think I'm going to err on the Rapid Strike side myself, but getting full evolution lines for single strikes isn't something I'm going to complain about. So all the prices you've seen here have been pre-order prices, and you can check these cards out and many, many more over at hjc.cards. And anytime you buy cards from us, it really helps the channel out a whole bunch, so we really appreciate that. So head on over, take a look at what we have. And that's going to wrap it up. Let's go through our hits really quick, because we did get some really good hits. We really did. Flapple V Max. Single Striker Shifu V. Great hit. Kricketune V. Great hit. Full Art Flapple V. I really do like this art. I love the yellow-blue swirl. It looks really good. Even though the card's not great, good hit. Single Striker Shifu V Max. Super pleased with this hit. Tyranitar V. That's a fine hit. Full Art Secret Rainbow Phoebe. That's one of the best hits you're going to get Huge fan of that hit. That's great. And finally, Corviknight V. Would love to see the VMAX, but I will settle for the V. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, I'm going to go ahead and wish you a good night and tell you to be good to one another.